I'm Dr. Dave Janda. Welcome back to the Operation Freedom Health and Wellness ongoing series that empowers you and leaves in the dust big pharma, big medicine, big insurance, all the people that have actually caused our society worldwide to become less healthy, more ill, promoted actually more disease, and in the process got filthy rich, which is why this series is heavily suppressed and censored. We bring information you will not get through the bought off lamestream fake media. Interesting note, 80% of ad revenue on all those stations you watch on TV, all the magazines you read, all the newspapers you read, 80% of their revenue comes from big pharma. Yeah. And that information has not helped you on the health front or the wellness front, which is why we are targeted because the information we provide does exactly that. We talking about a nutritional approach for health and wellness. And luckily, we have one of the nation's top nutritional experts in Brett Bashawati to help us realize our full potential when it comes to health and wellness. Now, for those of you not familiar with Brett, let's give you a little background. He's the CEO of a great company, Good Herbs, which he became CEO in 2005. And he expanded the company's vision by developing My Total Nutrition. With over 40 years of experience in product development and manufacturing, Brett has truly played a pivotal role in advancing natural health products. And this is the key based on clinically verified science based research. Now, Brett has been had made a huge impact on OperationFreedomHealth.com. If you haven't gone there, please do. Primarily, it's an information site. You name issues, and it's there that you won't get. Frankly, I'm an MD. From your internist or your uh, family doc, who's also an MD, we were never taught this information in medical school or in residency. But it's critical information for you to know. And it's there at OperationFreedomHealth.com. We have a free video about the 12 bad foods, inflammatory foods. Free video, top of the page, OperationFreedomHealth.com. We have, and there's no sense talking about products that can help you if you can't find them. So the products we discuss in any of our videos are all on OperationFreedomHealth.com. And full disclosure, purchase of the products does support the platform so we can continue doing the videos. Because websites cost a lot of money, especially if they're really information packed, and especially if they're information packed against the medical industrial complex. So it takes security and it takes IT professionals and the like. So purchase of the products goes to support that website and its functioning and its availability for you. Plus, Brett provides a great service, free. Very few things in life are free. Well, this is free. When you go to the bottom of the page, you can set up a meeting actually with Brett to talk about your nutritional support, what you're currently taking, what current problems you're having, and what can be done to fine tune your health and your wellness. Plus, Brett holds a seminar to those that support our platform by purchasing products every week. He hosts it to get you more information. It's my privilege, pleasure, and honor to welcome back Brett Bashawati. Brett, welcome back.
Thanks, Dr. Janda. Always great to be back.
So let's talk about system failure today. What happens when your body lacks nutrients that affect blood sugar?
Yeah, so first, we got to kind of reset our thinking here because one of the things that we do at Operation Freedom Health is we have the belief in holism, which is different than uploading specific nutrients to force the body in one direction or the other. We believe in giving the body all its essential nutrients needed every single day in recipes the body can absorb and utilize that balances the body instead of pushes the body in one direction or another. When we do this, this is when we can see great, great results. So when people come to us with symptoms A, B, C, and D, we never chase those symptoms. We never try to reverse those symptoms. What we do is we treat the whole body as a whole entity, and then the body fixes itself. So it's a really big deal on our purpose and our viewpoint, which is very, very different than what you'll see with a lot of like functional medicine and high doses of herbs in this direction, or high doses of vitamin C or vitamin D in that direction. That is not our platform, and that's not what we believe in. We believe the body has the innate ability to heal itself. It just needs the raw materials to do so.
Mm-hmm.
So, you ever have those emotions that are like roller coasters? You're high, you're low, you're happy, you're sad, all over the place. Or you have fatigue all the time. No matter if you eat calories and nutrition, even if you eat high protein, you still have fatigue. Or you get those sugar cravings in the middle of the afternoon where you have to have some kind of chocolate or some kind of, let's say, potato chips, where and you can't control it. The body's just looking, and the body's always in search for minerals. So when it eats, it fuels it just like a car needs fuel, but we have to put the right amount of fuel. Or if you have like excess sweating, you're always thirsty, or you have high volumes of urination. And then when you urinate, you look in the toilet and you got bubbles that are piled up everywhere in the toilet. That is a sign of high glucose, high sugar volume that is going through the kidneys. Or the biggest thing that we see when we do not have the appropriate nutrients for blood sugar support is we see that weight won't budge. And then it just keeps stacking on. Even when we're eating clean, we're eating salads and clean protein, the weight doesn't budge. And it could be as simple as we don't have the right nutrients for blood sugar support.
Mm-hmm.
Or you eat a meal, and right after that meal, you go into carb coma and you have to go take a nap. So I eat, instead of being energized and fuel, I need to go lay down and take a nap. These are all signs and these are cues that we might not have the right nutrients for blood sugar support.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the beautiful thing. Holism, we treat with the healthy foundation, which gives you the chromium that is needed to allow glucose to enter your cell walls. We also give you vanadium, which we need to expedite and transfer the glucose to the cell walls more efficiently. And it also has 23 nutrients needed to, when the sugar gets into the cells, to process and use it for energy. Because remember, sugar is not the antichrist,
No.
it's the preferred fuel of the body. But we have to get it in forms of our fruits and vegetables, not refined sugar that overloads the system. So a lot of times we can get over these cues just by taking the Healthy Foundation Pack. But then we might need a little extra. And I'm going to use this analogy, which I think is a great analogy, is if I have a napkin that's on fire on my desk, if I have a cup of water, I can take that cup of water and I put that fire out. So we know the antidote to fire is water. So we already know what the cues are. But if my house is on fire, that cup of water does not do very well because we need more volume of water to put that fire out. Well, the same thing could happen with the Healthy Foundation Pack. Maybe we're not getting those results, even though we know the antidotes in that pack to
Mm-hmm.
have healthy supportive blood sugar,
Mm-hmm.
but maybe the fire is so great that we have to bring extra components to the party. And that's where we have a product called Sweeties, which is high in chromium and vanadium and also has some herbal therapeutics in there to help support and expedite the situation. And so all you want to do is if we need to bring a little bit more help to the party,
Hmm.
is you take the foundation because you do need those 23 nutrients to process the glucose when entered into the sugar or into the cells. Then we can add a little extra chromium and vanadium by taking 2 to 3 sweeties per 100 pound of body weight before meals. So timing is everything. We want to take them before so it has time to travel and get it into the blood system so it can handle the glucose more efficiently. And when you do that, a lot of these cues, all of a sudden my fatigue turns into energy. My sugar cravings just vanish.
Hmm.
My roller coaster mood swings now stabilize. And now I'm living a very happy and joyful life. The sweating goes down. The urination goes down where now I'm not urinating all the time with bubbles in my toilet. The thirst, we're not always as thirsty, and finally, we get this all the time when people start this, that weight that won't budge starts slowly going out of the body because now the body is being put into balance so it can function properly the way nature God intended. And now the body starts putting itself back into its ideal weight for the information or for what it was designed to do. And here's the best thing after meals, instead of going to take that nap, you've just refueled and now you're ready to have more energy and tackle the day faster and harder than before. So it's as simple as that. It's a chromium vanadium problem. We can add that with the foundation. If we need to upload a little bit more, we have the Sweeties product, which is all on Operation Freedom Health. We encourage you to try it. Hey, if you don't like it or don't get the results, we give you a 30-day money back guarantee. So there is no risk, only rewards for the individuals to take advantage of living a happier and more robust life and a healthier life as well.
Brett, what about kids, adolescents, and kids? The question comes up, can they take the foundation pack? And what if they're having some blood sugar issues? Can kids, adolescents, kids, are they amenable to this chromium vanadium combination as well in sweeties?
Absolutely. So, any blood sugar issues that we have, first and foremost, what we want to look at is make sure they're not drinking a lot of sugary drinks, a
Mhm.
lot of sugar. We got to remove that refined sugar because it is too harsh on the system, even when the system has adequate amount of nutrients.
Mhm.
So, again, instead of going to that candy bar,
Yeah.
give them some fruit,
Yeah.
which is just as delicious, and you get them to use that. What is different with the sugar in fruit is very high in chromium. So it has the ability to assimilate and utilize that sugar properly, and then it is much, much better. But it's same protocol for children as it would be for adults, just the dosing would be a little bit less. So
Right.
instead of needing 2 to 3, they might need one or two of the sweeties before meals.
And what about women who are pregnant or are breastfeeding, as it relates to the foundation pack, and if they're having blood sugar issues?
Yeah, both are very safe
Okay.
to take. So, especially if you're looking to get pregnant, we want to make sure that the female, the mother, is going to be fully nutrified.
Right.
So not only it can satisfy the daily need of the mother, but then also give the nutritional components that are needed for baby's proper development. And when we do that, we see really, really good results at birth. And we recommend being on the Healthy Foundation Pack for at least 6 months before you try to conceive.
And Brett, educate our listeners. I mentioned early on about you being available with the consult, uh, free consult, and also the symposium you put on every week for those that support the platform.
Yeah, so when you go to Operation Freedom Health, if you scroll all the way to the bottom, like where the credits are, there is a thing that says appointment with Brett. You just click on that, you'll go to the schedule, And then you can just make an appointment if you want to have a private conversation to talk about the specific protocols that would benefit you the most. Um, Also, every Thursday morning at 10 a.m., we do a continuing educational series. It lasts for an hour and it's very specific on times because we have a lot of doctors that attend these continuing education. So they're in between patients. So we have to be really hardcore. We start at 10 Eastern, we stop right at 11 Eastern. So it is right at that hour. We usually play a short clip of a health video, and then we have great Q&A. Not only can you ask me questions, but you can also ask the doctors that are on the platform questions too. So we get a lot of support. It's a great community, and people just rave about the information.
I wanted to give you a little feedback. I mentioned several months ago, my wife and I were actually on separate flights because we were dealing with some family issues in another state. And we both came back at different times, and we both got sick. And and we talked to you about it, and you had mentioned, we're seeing a lot of this and hearing a lot about this, and there might be a radiation component to it, right? And you suggested that we start on, when we talked about this in a previous video, Ocean's Gold, right? So within 24 hours of starting that, we our symptom, although we had been fighting it for several weeks, went away. So we recently traveled, took more flights, and what we did is we started on the Ocean's Gold a day before, took it the day we flew, took it for 2 days after we got to our destination, did the same thing coming back, and perfect, no problems. Now
Yeah.
that's anecdotal, but it was a drastic difference because, and I can tell you, there were people all around me this time coughing, hacking, um, having all kinds of issues. And I thought, well, this is a pretty good test because we're in this tube that has a limited ventilation system. So let's see how this goes. And we did fine. So again, anecdotal, but still a drastic difference from what we had experienced on our recent flight a couple months before.
Yeah, and whenever the body's exposed to excess radiation, so it could just be an X-ray, it can be if you're at a power plant, whatnot. The beautiful thing about nature, nature always provides.
Yeah.
You just have to listen and understand how nature provides. And seaweed is the antidote to exposure to radiation. So if you fill the body up with seaweed, that radiation is not just blocked, it is grabbed and moved out of the body by seaweed like bladderwrack, culp, dulse, which is all in our Ocean's Gold product. That's why it's so beneficial and so powerful. And I don't think we haven't had a person that has had some sick-like symptoms that flu do our Ocean's Gold protocol and not get on the other side extremely quickly within 24, 48
Mhm.
hours.
Yeah.
It's dramatically noticeable.
It was for us. That's for
Yeah.
sure. I'd like to thank you, Brett Bashawati, for all that you do and are doing and will do. Folks, you can join us at operationfreedomhealth.com. Until next time, Dave Janda signing off. Dream big and dare to fail. Thanks for your time today and network this information to those you know and love because they've never heard any of this, but they will through you. Take care.